So the graph of y equals sine of x plus 3 looks something like this. So at x equals pi, pi is right around here for the graph, because that's pi over 2. So a tangent line would look like this. Touches at just one spot. So that means we need to know what the slope is at x equals pi. And to find a slope at an instant, we take the derivative. And there's our shorthand notation for the derivative. The derivative of sine of x is cosine of x, and the derivative of a constant is just 0. So there's our derivative. We want to know what the slope is at x equals pi, so we're going to plug in pi in for x into the derivative, because that's what the derivative does. It spits out those instantaneous slopes. And cosine of pi, you could use your calculator, but it's always good to know how to do it without a calculator. Pi in radians is 180 degrees. Lands us right here. And so if you're doing that in the unit circle, this is 1 unit away from the origin. So that's -1 on the x, 0 on the y. Cosine is always the x coordinates. So pi, and if you put that inside cosine, that equals -1, because cosine are the x coordinates in the unit circle. Okay, so we know what our slope is. Let's get rid of this. Now we can use y equals mx plus b. All right, there's our slope. And then we've got our y-intercept that we need to find. So to find the y-intercept, you just got to plug in a point. And the point we're trying to analyze is at pi. We just don't know, we don't have its accompanying y coordinate. We can find that real quick though, because you just need to plug pi back into the original equation. Sine of pi, pi is 180 degrees in radians. Sine is the y coordinate, so sine of pi is 0. And then 0 plus 3 gives us 3 for a y coordinate. So we'll plug in 3 in for y, pi in for x. And then we want to get b by itself, so that's negative pi. You just want to add pi to both sides to make that cancel out. And 3 plus pi, you could use your calculator to approximate that, but this is the exact answer. That's for b, that's for the y-intercept. So the full equation is y equals -1x plus 3 plus pi. Okay, that's the tangent line. The normal line just means it's perpendicular. So here's that quick graph again of what we just looked at. This is the tangent line. The normal line is this one I'm drawing right here. It's going to be perpendicular at that point, x equals pi. So we just need the negative reciprocal, and that's easy because if the slope is -1, then the negative reciprocal is 1. But we got to do the same thing. We got to find the corresponding y-intercept. So plug in 3 in for y, pi in for x, and if you solve that equation, you're going to get b equals 3 minus pi. So the normal line is y equals x plus 3 minus pi, like that. Okay, because 1 was our slope because it's the normal line, and 3 minus pi is what we got when we plugged in our point.